Well, folks, it seems President Trump has been busy. Just another day at the office, right? Except when your office is the Oval Office, things tend to be a little more, shall we say, eventful. In the past 24 hours, there have been some major developments coming out of the White House that have everyone talking. We're talking court rulings, executive orders, and enough political drama to make your head spin. So, what exactly went down? Let's break it down, shall we? Remember those two Democrats on the National Labor Relations Board and the Merit Systems Protection Board? Yeah, the ones Trump tried to remove. Well, a court just told him, "Not so fast, Mr. President." A US appeals court ruled that Trump can't just kick them off the boards like they're contestants on The Apprentice. Apparently there are these pesky things called federal laws that limit a president's power. This decision is a big deal because it upholds the idea that these boards need to be independent and free from political interference. Of course, the Trump administration isn't too happy about it and is already talking about taking it to the Supreme Court. Stay tuned, folks. This legal battle is far from over. Remember that whole Schedule F thing from Trump's first term? Yeah, the one that caused a whole lot of controversy. Well, it's back. Trump decided to dust off this old executive order and give it a fresh coat of paint. He's calling it Schedule Policy Career now, but it's basically the same idea, making it easier to hire and fire federal employees in policy-making positions. The administration says it's all about accountability, making sure government workers are actually carrying out the president's agenda, but critics are crying foul, saying it's just a way for Trump to stack the government with his loyalists and silence dissenting voices. So, what happens when you have a president trying to exert more control over the federal workforce while the courts are putting the brakes on some of his moves? Well, you get gridlock. These recent decisions could lead to a whole lot of uncertainty and confusion within the government. Agencies like the NLRB and MSPB are already facing a backlog of cases, and without a full board, it's only going to get worse. And with Schedule F back in play, federal employees are left wondering if their jobs are secure, which could lead to a drop in morale and productivity. In short, these decisions could make it even harder for the government to function effectively. And in today's complex world, that's not exactly good news. Section 5. Politicians up in arms, reactions from both sides of the aisle. As you can imagine, these White House shake-ups have set off a firestorm of reactions from politicians on both sides of the aisle. The political landscape is more polarized than ever, with each side interpreting the events through their own ideological lenses. The media frenzy outside the White House is a testament to the high stakes and intense emotions involved. Democrats are outraged, calling Trump's actions a blatant power grab and an assault on democracy. They argue that these moves are not just politically motivated, but are also a direct threat to the foundational principles of the nation. At press conferences, Democratic leaders are vocal about their concerns, emphasizing the need to protect democratic institutions. They're accusing him of trying to undermine the rule of law and turn the government into his own personal fiefdom. Protests have erupted, with politicians and citizens alike holding signs and making impassioned speeches. The atmosphere is charged and the rhetoric is fiery, reflecting the deep-seated fears of an authoritarian shift. Republicans, on the other hand, are cheering Trump on, praising his efforts to drain the swamp and make the government more accountable to the people. They see these changes as a long overdue correction to a bloated and unresponsive bureaucracy. At press conferences, Republican leaders are jubilant, framing the shake-ups as a victory for the American people. They argue that these changes are necessary to overcome bureaucratic resistance and implement the president's agenda. According to them, the entrenched bureaucracy has long been a barrier to meaningful reform. And these actions are a bold step towards a more efficient and responsive government. Meetings and discussions are focused on how to capitalize on this momentum. It's a classic case of partisan warfare, with each side digging in their heels and lobbing accusations at the other. The debates in Congress are more heated than ever, with neither side willing to concede an inch. The political standoff is palpable, and the atmosphere is one of intense rivalry and conflict. Don't expect any kumbaya moments anytime soon. The divide is deep, and the path to any form of consensus seems more elusive than ever. As both sides brace for the next round of political battles, the nation watches, caught in the crossfire of this relentless partisan struggle. Section 6. Will the world notice? The international impact, or lack thereof. While these White House shake-ups are causing a stir here at home, it's unclear what kind of impact they'll have on the international stage. Let's be honest, the world has gotten pretty used to Trump's unpredictable and often chaotic style of governing, so these latest moves might just be seen as par for the course. Besides, most foreign leaders are probably more concerned with their own domestic issues and the ongoing global challenges like climate change and economic instability. So while these decisions might make headlines around the world, it's unlikely they'll cause any major shifts in international relations, at least not yet. Section 7. What does it all mean? Making sense of Trump's big moves. Over the past few years, we've seen a series of unprecedented actions from the Trump administration. From controversial executive orders to high-profile firings, Trump's tenure has been anything but conventional. So what's the takeaway from all of this? How do we interpret these bold moves, and what do they signify for the future of American politics? What do these White House shake-ups tell us about Trump's governing style and his vision for the future? It's clear that Trump has a unique approach to leadership, one that often defies traditional political norms. Well, one thing's for sure. Trump is not afraid to use his executive power to reshape the government in his image. His willingness to sign sweeping executive orders and make bold decisions has left a lasting impact on the political landscape. He's willing to push the boundaries, challenge norms, and ignore his critics in pursuit of his goals. This approach has garnered both praise and criticism, highlighting the polarizing nature of his presidency. Whether you agree with his methods or not, you can't deny that Trump is a force to be reckoned with. His ability to mobilize his base and command attention is unparalleled in modern politics. He's a master of disruption, and he seems to relish in shaking things up. This disruptive style has led to significant changes in policy and governance, often catching both allies and adversaries off guard. But his critics argue that his actions are eroding democratic institutions, undermining the rule of law, and sowing chaos within the government. They point to the frequent turnover in his administration and the contentious nature of his policies as evidence of instability. They fear that the long-term consequences of his actions could be far-reaching and deeply damaging to American democracy. As we look to the future, the question remains, will Trump's legacy be one of bold innovation or lasting disruption? Only time will tell. Section 8. The future of the federal workforce. Uncertainty and potential upheaval. One of the most immediate impacts of these White House shake-ups will be felt by the hundreds of thousands of men and women who work for the federal government. These individuals, who have dedicated their careers to public service, now find themselves in a state of limbo. The policies and decisions made at the highest levels of government trickle down, affecting their day-to-day work and long-term career prospects. With Schedule F back in play, many federal employees are worried about their job security. This controversial executive order, which reclassifies certain federal positions, has the potential to strip job protections from thousands of workers. The fear is palpable as employees wonder if their roles will be deemed unnecessary or if they will be replaced by political appointees. They fear that their careers could be upended by political whims and that their expertise and experience could be disregarded. The uncertainty is not just about losing a job, it's about the devaluation of years of hard work and dedication. Many have spent decades building their careers, only to now face the possibility that their contributions might be overlooked or undervalued. This uncertainty could lead to a brain drain within the government, as talented and dedicated public servants decide to leave for more stable and less politicized work environments. The loss of experienced personnel could have far-reaching consequences affecting the efficiency and effectiveness of government operations. Departments may struggle to fill the gaps left by departing employees, leading to delays and disruptions in public services. The long-term impact on the federal workforce remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. These White House shake-ups have injected a new level of anxiety and uncertainty into the lives of many government employees. As the situation continues to evolve, federal workers will be watching closely, hoping for stability and clarity in an increasingly unpredictable environment. The future of the federal workforce hangs in the balance, and the decisions made in the coming months will be crucial in determining the direction it takes. Section 9. Buckle up, America. This roller coaster ride isn't over yet. Well, folks, there you have it. A whirlwind tour of the latest White House shakeups and their potential consequences. It's been a wild ride, and it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. One thing's for sure, with Trump at the helm, you can always expect the unexpected. So buckle up, America, and get ready for more twists, turns, and loop-de-loops as this presidency continues to unfold. And remember, folks, it's important to stay informed, engage in thoughtful discussion, and hold our leaders accountable, because the future of our democracy may depend on it. That's our show for tonight. Stay tuned for more news and analysis as it happens. And remember, if you don't laugh, you'll cry.